Alex Eala aus Tibet marches to SEA Games tennis finals. The 20-year-old Eala dominated the opening set but had to withstand a scare in the second frame from the 24-year-old Naklo before advancing to the finals for the first time in her SEA Games career. Eala will face another Thai ace, Maninkaya Sawanki, in the gold medal match after Sawanki cruised past Indonesia's Janice Tien, who retired in their semifinals clash due to breathing difficulties. Eala and Sawanki will duke it out in the finals on Thursday. In facing Sawanki, the world number 53 Eala will hope to replicate, or even surpass, the dominant form she displayed today against Naklo. Eala dazzled from the start, winning the first 3 games of the opening set before Naklo claimed the fourth to get on the board. The Filipina star took the next 3 games, including the 7th, where she built a 40-15 lead off a Naklo error, before closing out the opening set in commanding fashion. Naklo, with the help of a roaring cheer from the home crowd, came out firing in the second set, taking the first 2 games, including a dominant 40-0 win in the second, to put pressure on Eala. The Filipina star, however, capitalized on Naklo's errors to win the next 3 games and take a 3-2 lead. Naklo leveled the set at 3-3, but Eala broke the deadlock with a series of well-timed shots that forced mistakes from her Thai opponent. She then claimed the match point with a strong hold, though Naklo won the following game to extend the battle. Eala closed out the match in style, unleashing a powerful swing to build a 40-15 lead in the final game before Naklo's attack error handed the Filipina the victory, sending her into the SEA Games final. Eala is in search of her first gold medal at the SEA Games after settling for 3 bronze medals in her debut in 2022 in Vietnam. The night air clung to the court like a held breath, heavy with humidity and anticipation. Stadium lights poured down in white columns, bleaching the baseline and turning every bead of sweat into a small, glittering confession. Somewhere beyond the fences, the city buzzed as if nothing monumental were about to happen. But inside the lines, inside the echo of bouncing balls and squeaking shoes, Alex Eala stood at the edge of another becoming. Across the net waited the Tibet, young, swift, and fearless, carrying the hopes of a nation stitched into her kit. She bounced on her toes, eyes sharp, racket angled like a question mark. This was no warm-up act. This was a semi-final, a gatekeeper to the SEA Games finals, a place where medals are born and names are either etched or erased. Alex rolled her shoulders once, twice. She had done this ritual since she was a child, since courts were smaller, crowds thinner, dreams still shy. Now the ritual felt different. It was heavier, like armor. The Philippine flag stitched on her chest wasn't just fabric, it was a story, a chorus, 1,000 voices urging her forward. The match began with a crack, string meeting felt, promise meeting resistance. The Thai player struck first, a flat forehand that kissed the sideline and drew a ripple of applause. Alex nodded, as if greeting an old friend named Pressure. She answered with topspin, high and deep, pushing her opponent back, testing the corners of the court like a cartographer mapping risk. Games passed like heartbeats, quick, insistent, unforgiving. The Tibet played with daring, stepping inside the baseline, taking the ball early, refusing to be impressed by reputation. She broke Alex's serve first, puncturing the early calm. The crowd murmured. Somewhere in that murmur lived doubt. Alex felt it too. Doubt is democratic, it visits everyone. She wiped her face with her towel and looked at the far end of the court. The lines were still there. The net was still the same height. Tennis, she reminded herself, has no memory. It only knows the next point. She adjusted, began to vary her pace. Short angles, sudden depth, a drop shot that fell like a leaf. The Thai player sprinted, reached, smiled even as she missed. This was a contest not just of skill, but of joy. Alex found hers again in the rhythm of her breathing, in the familiar thud of footwork drilled 1,000 times over. The break came back with a backhand down the line, clean, decisive, unapologetic. The stadium exhaled. The set tilted. When Alex closed it, she didn't celebrate. She simply turned, eyes steady, already walking toward the next task. The second set arrived with a storm. The Tibet raised her level, unleashing winners that skidded low and fast, slicing through Alex's defenses. Long rallies unfurled, 20 shots, then 21, each one a negotiation between patience and bravery. Alex chased everything. She slid, recovered, counterpunched. When the point ended, both players stood bent at the waist, grinning in mutual respect, sweat falling like punctuation. At 4-4, the match held its breath again. This was the hinge. The tie player served big, reaching game point with an ace out wide. Alex bounced on her toes, eyes narrowed, listening to the quiet inside her chest. She stepped in on the second serve and ripped a return that painted the baseline. Deuce. Another rally. Another chance. Alex took it with a forehand that curved like intention itself. The break was earned the hard way, through grit, through lungs burning, through the stubborn refusal to yield. When Alex served for the match, the noise swelled, flags waving, phones raised. She closed her eyes for a second and thought of mornings before dawn, of courts far from home, of losses that taught her how to win. Match point arrived not with fireworks but with resolve. A rally stretched wide, then wider. The tie bet attacked the net. Alex passed her with a shot that threaded the smallest of needles. The ball landed in. The line judge's call was crisp. The net trembled. The moment was hers. Alex raised her arms, not in triumph, but in gratitude. She crossed the net, and the two players shared a brief, sincere embrace. This was competition as it should be, fierce, honest, fleeting. As she walked off the court, the realization settled gently, like a metal already warming to the skin. The SEA Games finals awaited. Another match. Another story. Another chance to carry a nation not as a burden, but as a blessing. For Alex Eala, this victory was not an ending. It was a sentence, strong, clear, and unfinished, written on a court where dreams don't whisper. They echo.